Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Healing with Love. Thank you so much for joining us. So, today we're going to be working on past lives, remembering past lives, healing past lives. But before we begin, I would like you to say out loud or in your head, I accept this Reiki from Marisela. Okay? And take 3 deep mindful breaths from the root to the crown. 3 of those while I do the Reiki symbols. And this Reiki will reach you in all dimensions of time and space, past, present, and beyond. Okay? So, in the now, actually, is what we want to actually focus on. But it's all dimensions, because it's all now. So, I'm just going to do some Reiki symbols. Okay, so we're going to start by, actually I'm just going to do a quick little Palo Santo. It's just to clear out the energetic space. I prefer sometimes to use Palo Santo over sage. It's more eco-friendly. Okay, so we're going to start with a little combing of the aura while we discuss past lives. So we usually, with past lives, we work on the soul star chakra. We work on a couple things. We work on the earth star, the root, and third eye, and the soul star. So we call upon Isis and Archangel Metatron to help us with this healing. Now, fear. We first have to let go of fear. We have to let go of attachments. We have to let go of fear. We understand that time is not linear. Everything is now. Because when people think about past lives, they immediately think of the past time frame. But as your soul star begins to open, you realize that time is not linear. Time is. Everything is all at once. So, your past lives in, let's say, Egypt is now. It's just in a dimension of time and space. A different dimension of time and space. So you can call in all those past lives. All those lives, you can call them in now, and you can integrate them now and become your highest version of your highest self. So this is a tricky one. So many people, they're very attached to their past lives or other lives. They're very attached to it. So let's say if you died abruptly in a previous life, you may not have even known you died, and you come back right away without a rest period of integration. And you may feel confused why you were born in a different body, let's say a different gender. because we were so attached to that. And sometimes it's such an abrupt death that we don't even know that we are not that person anymore, that we are now in a new dimension, a new jump, a new body. So it's all about embracing the body that you were born in. And let's say, a lot of this has to do with karma. So if you let's say a woman hater in your past life, and now you were born in a woman's body, and now you hate your body because you're still stuck on the past life of hating women. So this is a very tricky chakra, soul star chakra, very tricky healing. And it's about releasing all that and embracing the now, releasing all the pain from the past and embracing now. So, got that. I'm actually going to start with, just as we're discussing how to remember your past lives, I've got coral here, and coral was born over 500 million years ago. This is why the ocean is very helpful in healing the past. So I'm using coral today. It brings what is hidden to the surface. A lot of people don't realize, that remembering the past lives is a very heavy thing. It requires a lot of soul work. It requires an evolved soul, because it is a very painful experience to remember your past lives. There's a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of sadness, anger, regret. This is why we forget upon re-entry, to wipe the slate clean, to start fresh, to start new. And the only thing you take with you is love. It's a blessing to forget sometimes, but people don't see it. They see it as they were deprived of something. But sometimes it's a blessing, because you don't want to remember these things, these heavy things sometimes. And I've got, right here we're working with Herkimer Diamond and pink tourmaline and jade. So we're going to start with, let's see, we've got Larimar, Lemurian quartz. I used a lot of these in my last two videos, the Soul Star as well as the Zeal Chakra, because these are what are responsible for remembering your past lives, the Akashic records. So really, we're tapping into our Akashic records, which, is the cloud, so to speak. Akashic means cloud. So Lemurian quartz, these are very, all these ocean things, because it's diving deep. You're diving deep. And the ocean is ancient. Whales are ancient. That's why whale healing is great to remember. Whale sounds are great to help you remember. Whale meditations. So these are for ancient knowledge. So we're bringing these in for ancient knowledge. Okay. We're also bringing in petrified wood for the Earth Star Chakra to help us remember, like the rings on a tree, on a tree, the rings on a tree. These are all lives, right? Some people have had only a few lives. I call them the kindergarten souls. Some people have had many lives. And there's a great book called Many Lives, Many Masters by Dr. Brian Weiss. Highly recommend that book. It'll help you release the fear of death and understand the process of reincarnation. We choose it. So now we're going to work with black kyanite, which is great for understanding your past lives. Helps you to heal and dissolve karma and karmic loop patterns. So healing karma, that'll be another video that I'm going to do soon. But what is the point of remembering your past lives if you're not going to learn from them? So it's imperative to journal this whole process because it is a healing process. The universe will only give you as much as you can handle with your current level of consciousness and awareness. Okay. And it's like a little fan. Okay, moving on to Ruby to release fear. I think I already used, oh, here it is. Ruby. Release your fear, release the fear. You are safe. It is a very scary process sometimes to remember your past lives. Sometimes when the soul chakra opens, you don't know which life you are in. And it's almost like a roulette wheel. And you spin it. And that's the jumping, the dimension jumping. You spin it, where does it land? Which life is it going to land on? Sometimes you're shown things that will show you the tremendous strength and resilience that you have. And sometimes it'll show you your fears. Okay? Then we're going to use Udalite to clear the channels, to help the information to come through clearly. Okay. I'm just going to run through these crystals quickly. They're all going to be here for the next process. So we're going to use Lapis Lazuli. This is great for remembering past lives. Put this on your third eye, lay down with the intention of remembering. Diamond for Akashic records, peacock ore for astral travel and dimension jumping, super 7 for telepathy. This will help you connect with your soul family from previous lives. High vibrational relationships. We don't want to connect with our karmic stuff. We want to be done with that. We want to live our highest vibrational life. So we're bringing in that super 7 for that those high vibrational relationships, as well as Larimar for those high vibrational relationships. And if you look closely, you got an ink on the symbol. On the crystal. Okay. And then a little bit of selenite again. Clear all the chakras going up. Okay. So I'm trying to think of which crystal I specifically want to use. And I'm guided to stick with the Herkimer diamond and the jade. And the pink tourmaline for the yin-yang aspect. Balance. So I'm going to have all these crystals right here. So, how to remember your past lives. Understanding, we just discussed this, time is not linear. We want to channel all of the yous. Integrate. Yesterday was a past life, technically. You know, we always think of past lives as like we had to die and be reborn. But we die so many times in this particular life. It's just a hard concept to explain. If you've ever seen the movie Cloud Atlas, you know, we have the one character that is him in all dimensions of time and space up to the highest vibration, and they're all coexisting at one time. Like the flower of life. They're all petals and offshoots of this flower. And all those lives are now. So, another great way, ocean sounds, because whales are ancient. So listening to the sounds of the ocean will spark a remembrance. Meditation. Dream work, so always journaling, because a lot of the information comes through in your dreams, a lot of your past life things come through in your dreams. And it's coming through so we can work through it. Binaural beats are great, so sound therapy, music, singing bowls, singing. It's very, dancing, beating of a drum. It's very primal. It really taps into your primal, very root of the start of who you were when you were just a flash in the universe, like a star. Working on your zeal chakra and your soul star chakra to open up those Akashic records. And that is where all of it is stored. And you can go in and heal and delete things that no longer serve the highest vibrational you. When you begin to do this past life work, when you begin to do past life regressions, which we're getting to in a minute. So when you begin to do past life regressions, I recommend Dr. Brian Weiss. He's got a lot of audios online. A lot of self-hypnosis is great. You don't necessarily have to go to somebody, but it's great to go to somebody else. You can even go to a friend to help you with this, because it helps you take notes. You can record it, but you can always do it you don't have to go to somebody and pay hundreds of dollars to do this. So past life regression is great. Helps you get to the root. And your memory changes. As you begin to heal your past lives and heal your karma, your memory changes. So your heart chakra opens up and you want to apologize and say I'm sorry to people, and they don't remember what you remember because it's already been healed. You've already made the intention of healing, so it no longer exists in that time and space. Once you tap into your Akashic records and you begin to heal things and delete things, you actually change the world around you. Your world changes. They always say as soon as you start to change yourself, you change the world around you. So a lot of these things that happened no longer happened. It's almost like time traveling. You went back in time and changed something. And this requires a tremendous amount of soul work to be able to tap into remembering your past lives, because you've got to analyze a lot of fears and phobias, and you've got to sit down with yourself. I suggest, sitting down and writing down your fears and phobias, because they are connected to a past life. Fear of heights, fear of love, fear of drowning, fear of expressing yourself, etc. They all are rooted in your past lives. So we write them down and we realize. So I had an irrational fear of dark waters and ships. So one of the fears that came up was I was on a ship. I died on a ship and I drowned. So I had that fear. And I just recently confronted that fear by going to an atoll in the middle of the ocean, mile long, that could easily be wiped out by a tidal wave, and it's the deep, deep waters. And another one is you can get a reading from somebody, a past life reading, and it'll spark remembrance. I always suggest going into yourself first to see what comes up before you get a reading. And then the reading might spark remembrance, or it might be synchronized to what you already have brought through on your own. So journaling is imperative. Journaling is one of the key things to working with past lives, healing past lives, and remembering your past lives. Journaling your dreams, journaling epiphanies that come through. So I like to say, write down the things that you love, your hobbies, the places that you love, locations on the map, on the globe, scents and smells that you love, foreign cuisines that you love, etc. Write these down. These are usually related to your past lives. Like if you're drawn to the pyramids, you will have most likely had a past life in the pyramids. If you were obsessed with Harry Potter, you may have been a wizard. If you were obsessed with the Knights Templar, you might have had Arthurian times and the, Merlin the Magician, etc. You will start remembering your power, your gifts, your innate gifts. Crystals help you. You don't necessarily need them. It's all about intention. But I say the journaling aspect, because then you start to remember. So a certain scent, they say scent and sound bring you back to things. So you can hear a song from, a long time ago that'll spark a remembrance in you, a memory. And you can smell something that'll spark a remembrance. A hobby that you have, that'll spark a remembrance. So make a list and work with the list. What is the prominent thing? You love Italian food. Maybe that's something in a past life in Italy. Connection to Italy. I don't like to call them past lives. I call them connections. So connected to this, connected to that. These are your connections. These are your flower of life, your petals. If you are drawn to a particular type of person, that you have not been able to let go of that type of person. This can also be karmic stuff, letting go of karma. When we keep repeating the loop cycle, that's associated with the past lives, and we're here to break that cycle. So this is what the black kyanite is here for, to help us break that cycle. And remember, it's not just about remembering. It's about healing karmic loops and fears and integrating the highest version of yourself. I'm going to do a little karma cleanse. Clear out the karma, because then the karma is all about acknowledging the past. If you are always in relationships where you're being cheated on, maybe that is you acknowledging your past where you were the cheater. So once we acknowledge something, now we're healing it. Now we're bringing it to the surface. When it's acknowledged, it's brought to the light and it's transmuted. So we're going to transmute that. I'm going to light a little Palo Santo to bring it into the fire. Bring it into the fire. Transmute it. And everything is now. That's, definitely, I talked about Many Lives, Many Masters. I highly suggest reading it because it'll spark a deep remembrance in you that will change your life. There are books out there that'll they spark remembrance. If somebody, when you're researching things, somebody's already been there. So it helps you spark that remembrance in you. Because it's a heavy feeling. You've got to let go of the guilt, the shame. A lot of people, they died in, somebody, died in a shameful way. You got to let that go. A lot of sadness, a lot of regret. We bring a lot of regret. And, we feel that we owe people. So in this life, we're constantly trying to repay things to others. The debt has already been repaid. The karma is already wiped clean. We're ascending into this new earth. And it's all about tapping into that and acknowledging that. Because it's all about intention. If you believe you are already on that new earth, you are. The past life regression definitely suggests, there's a lot of great videos online. Michael Seeley, Dr. Brian Weiss, they all have a lot of great ones. Quantum hypnosis. Let go of the attachments of the old life. Let go of the old you. You are you now. Let go of the hate. Love yourself. Love every aspect of you. What you look like, your gender, everything. Just love it. Start vibrating higher. Tap into that. Your highest self. Integrate into your highest self. Do what you love. Thank you, Archangel Metatron. Thank you, Isis, for helping us to see clearly. Keep breathing. Mindful breath really helps. Meditation. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments. I'll try to get back to you in a timely manner. Remember, you are loved, and you are love. Namaste.